Number 1. Nothing too over the top, but skin crawling nonetheless. I work as a delivery driver at Pizza Hut, and a few nights back I had a man call to place an order. Things were normal as I took his address and name, explained our deals and took his order. He then started asking me about the delivery time, since he was ordering a little later in the evening and had to be off for work early the next morning. He also didn't want his pizza to be cold, completely understandable. I explained to him that while we had an over 50-minute delivery time since it was Saturday and it was busy, that his pizza wasn't going to just sit there, and that the way it was mostly for us to make it, not necessarily deliver. He seemed placated by that, and started telling me how nice I was, and how I was very good at customer service, and was very helpful to him. He asked my name and how to spell it, which wasn't unusual. I might have just wanted to leave a review. He then started asking me if I went to school, and where. That threw me off a little, but I assumed, just making small talk. The next thing out of his mouth was,
I may be old, but I know that sometimes you gotta do things you don't want to do to get the things you want.
I would have just thought he meant working part-time to get through college to achieve something better, if he hadn't said it in a drawn-out, sultry tone, and followed it up with,
I gave you my full name earlier, but my friends call me Dallas, and Dallas is a sexy name, and so is yours. It's perfect.
I swiftly turned to my manager and made it adamantly clear to him that I was not taking that delivery, and he would be sending a completely different driver. When I got back from my delivery, which was thankfully not his, my manager asked me why I was so against taking Dallas's order, and I explained. We make jokes about him being my new boyfriend now, but at the time the whole situation made me extremely uncomfortable. Number 2. I lived in a city in central Ohio that begins with a C and has a big college that I live near. I attended a different college than the one I mentioned and made the 20-minute drive from the city to that college. I also worked nights as a pizza delivery man in the city and the surrounding suburbs. One night I had an order in the town where my college is located, which is a smaller suburban city northwest of my home city. Now, this call occurred during what my co-workers and I refer to as the dead hour, which is just before the shop closed at 1 in the morning. I begrudgingly took the pizza, got in the car and plugged the address into my GPS. I noticed the house was located off a back road in what looked like a sparsely populated area. Not thinking much of this, I drove up Route 315 to I-270 East and exited. After passing through downtown, the cemetery and the college, I drove through some sub-developments and then onto the smaller road where the house was located. The GPS notified me that I had arrived at my destination, but to my surprise the house was boarded up. I noticed that there was a small shed in the back of the house that had a small window. There was a flickering light in the window. At this point, almost every red flag had gone off in my head, but I knew my hard-ass boss would be pissed if I wimped out on this delivery, so I proceeded towards the shed. As I got closer to the shed, I heard rustling in the bushes next to the driveway. Then I heard a man whisper,
"Here they come, Billy. 45, 45.
At that point, a man jumped out from the bushes and 2 other men jumped out of the shed. They were carrying knives and were wearing these long robes with white masks. I made it back to the car just in time, but one of the assailants managed to slit my arm. As I escaped, I could see the assailant standing in the middle of the road, looking pissed. I probably drove 90 miles an hour on the way back. When I got to the shop, everyone looked shocked. After explaining to them, we contacted the police and they dispatched a few officers to the house. When they got there, the assailants were gone. They found some drug paraphernalia in the shed and some ropes and weird torture equipment. Always remember, carry pepper spray, everyone. Number 3. Hey fellow watchdogs, this just happened to me today and I felt the need to post. So, a few weeks ago, I got a new job as a pizza delivery guy, and pretty cool, $8 an hour. So I'm told to go deliver a pizza to some apartment complex, nothing out of the ordinary there. Upon knocking on the door, a pretty cute girl opens up and smiles. Suddenly this delivery is turning out pretty sweet. I tell her the price and she says, yeah, I got the money in my room, and asks me to come in to wait. Now, on any other circumstance I'd say no, because that's the safe and smart thing to do, but hell, this girl was cute. Plus, what could she do that would harm me? Well, she returns from her room with the money, smiling at me, and then she drops the change and slowly bends down to pick it up. She was flaunting a rack in a tank top. And when she comes back up, she's smiling. She gives me the cash, and this is how the conversation went after that. You're cute. Thanks. You too. Can I have your number? I barely know you. Why don't you hang with me for a bit, and we could talk? Alright, but only for like 10 minutes. Well, she led me back to her room, and we were going to share the pizza, but as soon as I went back there, she had all this BDSM stuff. Handcuffs, choker chains, dirty panties, whips, etc. laying around. I kind of froze as soon as I took it all in, and then I said something like, oh, never mind, gotta go, and noped the fuck out of there. I guess the lesson I learned today is that even if someone looks like they're harmless, and not creepy, there's still a small chance that they are. Never trust a stranger, no matter how good they may appear.
Hey, ladies and gentlemen, Dallas here. Just wanted you all to know that if you have any stories you'd like the Fear to read, then leave them in the comments or email them to him, and he'll be sure to give them a little bit of a read. Now, if you want to leave this video a like, I would be much obliged. That would be sexy. Oh yeah.